家好，我是郭 J， 我现在在纽约市。今天我们有特别大的新闻，就是川普有新冠病毒。川普昨天晚上在 Twitter 上说了，然后今天是政府确定了。大家应该都知道，1个月后有我们的大选，所以现在是最紧张的事件。这么紧张的时候，川普得了新冠病毒，会不会影响美国的大选？所以今天我来纽约街上采访这里的人。So do you know that Trump has COVID?
Yes, I seen it this morning.
I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I heard it in
we
the
know
morning.
This morning.
I just heard it this morning at work, so I haven't read anything about it.
Yeah, him and his wife I heard this morning.
No, I did not know that.
You didn't know that? Did
No,
you know?
no.
Did you know?
No.
Okay, so I'm
Incredible.
he has COVID.
That's incredible.
What do you think about that?
Incredible.
I mean, it's crazy. The president of the United States has COVID.
A friend texted me. I was like, he's got it.
Oh my God. No, it's time. It's time.
I guess it is karma. He's a terrible person. He's terrible.
I do like that he got a bit of taste of his own medicine and that he's not taking it seriously.
I'm sorry for him.
I was worried for Biden because I don't want him to get it.
He's going to pull out of this better than anybody. He's got the best doctors taking care of him, and he's not going to be in there too long.
I think God has perfect timing.
And why do you think that?
Because it's about to be November, and I just feel like he should get out of office.
You need to get out of the office.
He's just so horrible and evil that COVID-19 is going to like approach this guy and be like, whoa, he's a bigger superbug than I could ever be, you know? So he would probably scare off, COVID-19, but no, he didn't. He got it. He's just as human as anybody else.
I was babysitting an 8-year-old and she was like, he has corona, and she was like, that's good news. And then she's like 8 and she doesn't know anything, but she was like, oh my gosh, of course.
I don't think like many people who hopes that he dies. I think that's kind of childish. I personally am not a Trump supporter. I will vote for Biden.
I hope he come back home. He come back healthy, and everything will be. It's no good for the country that the president of the United States sick.
Like, why would he say?
I just got a question. How did he get it?
How did he get it?
Well, obviously exposure to someone who had COVID.
Because if he don't take care of himself, like with the mask and other things.
Whole thing with him making fun of Biden for the masks. Yeah, and now, it caught up to him, so.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen.
Because he took no precautions. He poo-pooed masks. He didn't care.
It's good to wear a mask, double mask. You
Everybody have to take
double
care of
mask.
himself.
You gotta wear double mask.
We need to be worried about COVID.
Wear a mask, take this seriously. This is taking over 200,000 lives.
The man had to talk. He had to have people listen to him. So you can't do it with this thing in your face. So he took it off. He did what he had to do. He sacrificed himself, put it that way.
Do you think this might change the election or influence chances of that?
I hope so. Yeah. I really hope so. Whatever it takes. I can't take it with this one anymore.
I hope it does. I hope it just sheds light, or more light on his stance on the issue and how wrong it is.
No, I honestly don't think anything that comes out of his mouth has really changed many people's opinions. People have made their minds up already.
I'm not so sure about that. I really don't think there are too many undecided voters. Maybe some Republicans who voted for him last election, but after the last debate, I would hope they've already made up their minds.
If there's a situation where he says he can't campaign because of COVID, that could affect it, obviously. But the way I feel about it, you have to be president regardless of the situation. Whether you're sick, you got the flu, whatever the case may be. So with that standard of measure, you should also be able to campaign with whatever sickness or ailment you have.
I'm worried about that. I was thinking about that this morning. It might.
How do you think it might affect the election?
Being that he's got the COVID, a lot of people are going to say that he's not fit to continue being president. And they're going to want to put Biden in there. But they don't understand. Biden is like, 70-something, almost 80 years old. Biden ain't going to last another 4 years up in there anywhere.
Do you actually think it might influence some of his supporters?
I hope so.
I hope so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. They seem pretty hardcore.
No, I feel like they just are to a point where they're so brainwashed into believing everything is false that they won't believe that.
People will see that, even his base will see that, and that maybe they can change their minds and go out there and vote against him.
What messed them up right now is this COVID thing. That's what messed them up. If we're going to put Biden in there, Biden was there for 8 years. He didn't do nothing for this country.
总的来说，美国宪法说，即使美国总统病得很严重，他还是有总统的权利，除非川普自己同意，或者 the cabinet 他的上面的人同意，才可以副总统有总统的权利。如果他和他上面的人都不同意，无论他病多严重，他还是总统，除非他死了。那他得了新冠病毒会不会影响支持他的人的想法？我觉得不会。支持川普的人可能觉得他得了新冠病毒，因为他去很多地方做演讲，很努力工作。他们可能觉得拜登没有得新冠病毒，因为他太懒。他们叫他 hidden Biden。那会不会影响美国大选？我觉得影响很少，因为大部分人已经决定选谁了。好，那这就是现在美国大选的情况。好，那我现在走吧，拜拜。我是郭杰瑞。